My name is Ivotrice. When I was 6 years old, my my dad was murdered in front of me. I was living in Long Beach. I was living with my mom, my dad, my three sisters, but two of them moved out. We have different fathers, so they didn't really care for him. Yeah, one of my sisters, she was very jealous because she was the only child for 8 years. So when I came into the picture, she didn't like me. They said my dad was a very violent man, but he never laid a hand on me. For me, he always protected me. Well, it was kind of late, and I was in the bed with my sister, and my mom came out the room, and she said, "Don't tell your dad, but I'm going to bingo." She left, and a few hours later, my dad came in, very angry. He came out and said, "Where's your mom?" My sister said, "I don't know," and I said she went to bingo. Said he was going to look for her, and left. And my sister said, you did it now. And I kind of got scared, and my mom came home, and a couple hours later, my dad came home. Then they started arguing. All of a sudden, it was a scuffle. And I saw my dad, he had my mom's leg trying to flip her over, and my sister was socking him, trying to get him off. He turned and saw me, and he just had this look like he was ashamed, but then he still went back to just arguing and just fighting my mom. You can hear like someone's looking for something, but I couldn't see it, and all of a sudden I heard a thump. I saw my sister, she had a knife, and he was on the ground, and he was just moving very slowly, and there was just blood everywhere. Walked up to him, and he was mumbling, he was saying something, and then he stopped moving. He bled out right there, and my mom did nothing. Just watching that whole event, it didn't seem real, and then what came after was just pure hell. My sister became very abusive to me because my mom had to work, and my two older sisters were gone. That was it. Me and her in the house alone. I remember how it started is I was eating a bowl of cereal, and the spoon hit the bowl, and she socked me really hard. I said, "Don't ever do that." And I couldn't understand, so I kept eating, and it hit it, and she slapped me. She said, "I never want to hear your spoon hit the bowl." She would find anything to just hit me. She would hit me with hangers, stitching cords, sticks, anything, and I couldn't tell. She would tell me, I could put you where your dad is. Like, she would always say that to me, and I couldn't say nothing. The worst part haven't even begun. I used to sneak into the kitchen and always give me a glass of milk. She knew that. One day, she was like, so I tried to sneak out of bed, and she grabbed me, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to just get a glass of milk." She said, "No, you have to do something for me." She opened her shirt and said, "You have to suck my breast." And I was like, "No." And she kind of punched me. "I'll keep doing this unless you do this. Do it for me." So I would do it. And then she'll go get it and give it to me. Like it's a good thing. One day she was kind of like, "Don't you want that glass of milk?" And I was like, "No." She said, "Well, you gotta do something else for me. I don't care if you don't want it." So she would get fully undressed and take my hand and touch her all over. And if I didn't do it, I get choked. And then she pushed me down. She said, "You have to go down there with your mouth." And I was like, "No, I'm not going to do that." She said, yes, you are." And I have small hands. So she would stick it in there. And she would stick it all the way in there as far as she could. And I didn't know what I'm doing. She was like, just move it back and forth. And she would just make noises. And then she would try to do it to me. And I'm like, ouch. I mean, that hurt. And she was like, shut up. You know, you're going to do this. And so she couldn't do it to me. It was just too painful. I would just scream at the top of my lungs. So it would happen like that all the time. And then when she was done, it was time for the beatings. And it was the same thing over and over. Until one day I just got tired and I was just so much pain. I went to my mom and gave her a hug. And she gave me a hug and I said, ouch. And she said, what's wrong? And I wouldn't say anything. She kind of lifted up my shirt and it was webs and but there were old ones and new ones. And she said, who did this? And I said, my sister. Mama, you leave me with her. She does this to me all the time. And my mom told my sister, come here. Why did you do this? She deserved it. So my mom grabbed her around the neck and just strangled my sister. Just couldn't, barely was moving, and then let her go and screaming at her. And then my mom told me, and my sister got me again. When I finally moved out, we moved away from that apartment. I was around almost 9 years old. And I just see it all the time. It's like my mom, she never wanted to protect me. She just watched him die like she wanted to. When he died, I just felt alone, and I feel that he left me here. And there were points in my life that I wish I was with him, because I would hear it from my sisters, all 3. You should be dead with him. And I would hear it even till today. And it's like, well, why did he leave me? Why didn't he take me with him? You know, I got to the point where just kill me already. At least I'll be with him and not here with you guys. And that was my best friend. You know, my only real best friend. You know, one thing that would hurt me was she did it in my face. I guess I always wish that I knew what he was saying. I think it's my fault too. I blamed myself, because if I never said she went to bingo, I have to live with that for the rest of my life.